This video I'm talking about saponification or ester hydrolysis, and the idea is that if I take a typical ester, okay, you're gonna add a strong base such as it could be sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide in heated conditions, okay, and that's the typical a formula. And so what we'll get is OH minus in solution, and it will attack the carbon. Okay, so once it attacks the carbon, it will displace the bond. It will break the bond between the carbon and the oxygen and put those in the form of lone pairs. Okay, and so we will create the carboxylic acid. Okay, so we create carboxylic acid plus O minus, yeah, and then we have the potassium as a counter ion to support it. But it so happens that this is strong. This is a strong base itself, just like potassium hydroxide, and so this molecule in solution won't stay long. And so if I redraw the structure, we have acetic acid in solution plus potassium ethoxide. Okay, and we know this is a strong base, so it's gonna attack and take off the hydrogen and break the bond. Okay, and so we'll actually form the O minus generated on the carboxylate. We'll actually form a carboxylate with the O minus generated and the potassium as a counter ion. And in that case, we picked up a proton, so we get ethanol. Okay, so that's the general idea of saponification, and it's just basically hydrolyzing the ester using a strong base. Okay, so it's pretty much nothing. It's pretty much very simple. Okay, it's pretty much very simple. You could imagine if we take ethyl acetate, okay, and we add sodium hydroxide. Well, what are we gonna get? Okay, well, we're just simply gonna get a hydrolysis. So we're gonna get the O minus and the sodium plus. Okay, we're gonna get O minus and the sodium plus. Okay, plus ethanol. Okay, so that's the general idea. We take an ester, hydrolyze it, and we get the salt, or we get the salt plus the alcohol. Okay, now saponification or ester hydrolysis is how we actually create soap. It's actually how we create soap. And so if I think of stearic acid, let me draw the structure. Yeah, so the structure of a stearic acid looks something like this. Say carboxylic acid, so this is stearic acid. Okay, so typically in the industry, we take stearic acid. Okay, we take stearic acid, and it's a 18 carbon chain long molecule. So we take stearic acid and we actually add sodium hydroxide. We add sodium hydroxide, which is also in water. We add sodium hydroxide in water in heated condition. And sodium hydroxide is also called lye. Yeah. So we take stearic acid and we add sodium hydroxide, and here's what we get. Yeah. We generate this molecule. Yeah. We generate this molecule. Now this is called sodium stearate. This is called sodium stearate. Okay, and this is actually the soap. This is actually soap. So the most common soap, this is a white powder. Yeah, this is the molecule that most of your soap is actually made of. This is actually soap itself. Okay, and so that's the idea behind saponification and ester hydrolysis. Now in this case, we took a carboxylic acid, and essentially what we're doing is making a salt. But remember where the carboxylic acid came from. It came from the ester hydrolysis, just like we did here. We hydrolyzed the ester to create the carboxylic acid, and then we simply added a strong base. Okay, so that's how we create. So that's saponification or ester hydrolysis so this is just interesting material that I just wanted you to know. But the mere fact, the thing you should know is that you're going to take an ester, use a base, hydrolyze it, get the carboxylic acid, and then the equal strong base will actually deprotonate carboxylic acid to give you the soap. So this is what I want you to take away from this video. And also just another info like type of stuff. In the industry, we take fat and sodium methoxide. Yeah. In the industry, we take fat and sodium methoxide. And what we actually do is hydrolyze it, and we actually create biodiesel. Yeah. Actually, we create biodiesel plus glycerin. Glycerin. Should create biodiesel plus this glycerin. So this is biodiesel. Okay, so that's how we'll create biodiesel in the industry.